All right, everyone, time now to talk about Knox County's new mayor, Glenn Jacobs, taking office, the official oath on Friday. He's joining us now here in the studio. So, Glenn, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So let's talk about it. Just being officially sworn in, hitting the ground running, what's your first priority?
The first priority, actually, as I announced last week, along with Mayor O'Hara, we'll be having a community summit to talk about the opioid epidemic and actionable steps that we can take in confronting that, as well as, of course, working with business leaders in the Chamber of Commerce. Throughout my campaign, I talked about research and development in our area, advanced materials, advanced manufacturing, advanced energy. I think those are all things that we really have a leg up on other regions and other areas. And then, of course, working with the schools and especially with career and technical education, making sure that we're prepared for what I think is going to be a change in the educational system as far as a lot more resources going into the career and technical education areas.
Let's talk about the last couple of weeks here, because we've done several stories here on WATE, and you've had quite a few meetings and conversations with former Mayor Tim Burchett. What kind of advice is he giving to you, or has he given to you, and are you seeking out any advice as well?
I'm always seeking out advice, of course. The most important thing is having a good team around you, and Mayor Burchett was able to assemble that. Chris Caldwell will be staying on as Director of Finance. He's done a great job for the county, saved the county tens of millions of dollars, and he'll continue to do a great job in my administration. As well as my Chief of Staff, Brian Hare, my Communications Director, Rob Link. Those are all sort of the core team that makes everything go. And then, of course, you look at the departments and ensuring that we have great people, which we do. Again, Mayor Burchett did a very good job with the departments and ensuring that they're functioning very well and effectively and using the taxpayers' money to benefit them as much as possible.
Are you reaching out to any other former leaders here in Knox County and getting advice from them as well?
Sure. Actually, throughout the transition process, talked to many different folks. Just almost too many people to number, and I would leave some people out. And I like to thank everybody because so many people have been very helpful, have given me advice, and it's always been with one of the caveat: take this if you want to.
Right.
But it's always great to have different viewpoints, especially from people with experience, and sort of learning in some cases what they did well, and in some cases what they did not so well, and hopefully avoiding some of those pitfalls.
Yeah, because this is your first big political venture here, first time in politics. So is there something out there that you have been most concerned about moving into this realm of the political world?
Yeah, it's political thinking, which is endemic. It's just endemic throughout the system. I was told by someone that every decision that I would make from here on out is political, and that stunned me because I thought that I was supposed to do the right thing, not the political thing. And I think it's just overcoming that and getting folks to realize, that our barometer should be the U.S. Constitution, the state constitution, and the county charter. And in some cases where those aren't clear, is doing what we think is right, not what we think is necessarily politically expedient.
A lot of people are going to be happy to hear that. Let's talk a little bit about reports out right now that you are hiring former state lawmaker Roger Kane as your education liaison. Let's talk a little bit about what is the education liaison here in the county.
Basically, this is a position that's to work with the entire educational system, the school system, the private schools, the homeschoolers, the technical colleges, but also with private industry. Again, I think there's going to be a huge push over the next several years in the career and technical education areas. And we can offset a lot of the cost that's going to be associated with those changes by working with the private sector. I think that some people thought that this was going to be a replacement for the mayor's relationship with the superintendent and the school board. It is not. It is designed to deepen that relationship and really to, just daily work with everyone in education in Knox County and in the adult education world as well, to ensure that everyone in our system has the tools that they need necessary, to excel in whatever area they choose.
Why is it so important to have this position to accomplish all of that?
Because the school system itself takes up 62% of Knox County's budget, so that's huge. And again, when you look at the changes that I believe are coming in the education system, that's going to be a hurdle to deal with. I want to have Knox County positioned ahead of the curve, especially when it comes to career and technical education, so that we're a leader in that area. Because in order to be able to have attract the businesses that we want, the high-paying businesses, the businesses that with high-paying jobs, we have to have a world-class workforce. And in order to do that, it does start with education, but even more than the school system now. I believe that we're looking at things like TCAT and career and technical education.
Let's talk a little bit about another position that has changed, a big position here, the Knox County Sheriff, going out to Tom Spangler. What do you hope from him moving forward?
I just want to have a great relationship with Sheriff Spangler. We already do on a personal level. I think he's just a very good, decent human being, and look forward to working with him. And again, I think what everybody wants out of their local government is they want good jobs, good schools, and a safe community. And I look forward to working with Sheriff Spangler to ensure that we do have a safe community.
All right, moving forward here, what should the people of Knox County expect to see, or should they expect to see anything quickly and visibly different with your administration?
First of all, on an operational standpoint, I don't want to see anything different. I just want people to realize, hopefully, that after months from now, there's no big bumps, and hey, there's a new guy in the city county building. Did you hear about that? And I'll be doing many of the same things that Mayor Burchett did as far as going out in the community. We're going to have lunch in a different part of town every week, which I'll have on Twitter. I'm not going to wear Carhartt, but hopefully I can keep my Twitter game up with his.
Do you think maybe you could throw in like a WWE costume or something?
I might do that occasionally. But no, just getting out there a lot. I think a lot of the frustration that people have nationally with government is just the fact that no one listens to them, and I want to be out there listening to people, interacting with people, and talking with people.
One of the things we talked about just a few weeks ago, you do plan on trying to continue the back-to-school bash as well?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I want to be very involved with that. I want to be personally involved with the schools. With my insurance agency, we had something called the Kindness Revolution, which is an anti-bullying program, which is very successful. So I understand the need for anti-bullying programs. I have a degree in English, so I want to be very involved with literacy programs. I want to visit every school in Knox County over my term. So it's those sort of things, just that community involvement I think is vitally important, and I think when people see the mayor as the guy out there doing it, they get behind it.
All right. Mayor Jacobs, thank you so very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Looking forward to covering all of your school visits as well, by the way. All right, everyone, still to come, an attack ad in the race for Senate, but not from the candidates. Stay with us. You're watching Tennessee This Week on WATE 6 on your side.